Help support AMTV by becoming a patron, an AMTV staff member, and following us over on Twitter.
Hi there guys, it's Adam Martyn here, and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Channel 4, specifically their Box network, and how it's definitely now coming to an end. We did chat about this briefly in another video, part of the sweeping cuts that Channel 4 are making across their entire boatload of services, going for a more digital structure. But recently we had this from RXTV, which always I recommend you go and check out. It says Channel 4 confirms Sky, Virgin and Freesat music channel closure date. And you can see on the picture there are the logos of 4 Music, The Box, Kiss, Magic and Kerrang. Now, some of these channels are quite beloved. I grew up with The Box and 4 Music specifically, but I know a lot of people enjoyed Kerrang back in the day, Kiss as well, and Magic. It says Channel 4 first announced its intention to close the music channel business back in January that it has. At the time, the broadcaster wasn't able to disclose an exact date, but it confirmed it would happen this year. Following recent online reports and videos speculating on their closure, triggered after an eagle-eyed viewer spotted a reference to Magic TV's closure, Channel 4 has now named the date. A spokesperson for Channel 4 confirmed to RXTV on Friday, the one just gone, that the music channels 4 Music, Kerrang, Kiss, Magic and The Box will no longer be available from Monday the 1st of July 2024. So their time is nigh. At the time I'm recording this, it's pretty much the start of June. There's a month left, so if you want some last minute nostalgia from these channels that you grew up with or you enjoyed watching, your time to do it is now. At this point, the services will be delisted from Sky, Freesat and Virgin Media. Ahead of its closure, The Box will spend June digging into its archive to bring viewers the best music videos from its 32-year history. That's a fun idea. Listen, if you're gonna go out, if you're gonna leave the traditional TV space, you got to do it in style. The channel closure is part of a wider move by Channel 4 away from traditional linear broadcasting towards streaming. For example, so far this year, it started to debut episodes of its soap Hollyoaks on streaming first. It also announced it will make full coverage of the Paralympics available onto YouTube. And this is exactly no surprise. Channel 4, I think, has done a great job in years past of showcasing the Paralympics because, sadly, this is awful to say, but there's a lot of broadcasters who don't take up the Paralympics because they don't feel it's going to be a worthwhile return on their investment, which I think is absolutely ridiculous because there are millions out there who watch the Paralympics and indeed take part in the Paralympics. So Channel 4 has always done a great job, and I think making it available on YouTube, the full coverage, is in the theme of the games. It's going to make it really accessible. It's going to make people who, for whatever reason, might say if YouTube is preferable, it's just an easier way to access it, especially if you're not going to watch it live. And the thing about Hollyoaks on streaming first, we've talked about Hollyoaks and how, should it be wound down as it's sort of past its prime? A lot of people say it's still got a lot of steam going for it, and this whole move to streaming first seems to be working out for it. Even though they've had a reduction in episodes, a lot of people I've seen have been praising, like the latest batch of episodes, they've been praising the streaming first approach. And indeed, the streaming first approach is something we're seeing not just with soaps, but all kinds of programs, dramas. Take Doctor Who, for example. That new series is dropping at midnight on Saturdays before having its traditional broadcast in the evening. So it's the way a lot of these things are going. A Channel 4 spokesperson told RXTV, "We will be closing our Box network of channels from the 1st of July across all platforms, as they are no longer of sufficient scale to deliver meaningful return on investment," which basically translates to me as, this ain't making enough money. Our strategy reflects the generational shift in TV viewing and involves reducing costs, particularly in linear activities, to allow us to invest in digital priorities and stay competitive in a world of global entertainment conglomerates and social media giants. Now, this is something Channel 4 have really been pushing. I think out of all of the main terrestrial broadcasters here in the UK, they've been the most upfront with being like, listen, we're cutting back. Linear services, traditional services, gotta go. We're going digital and we're doing it as fast as we can. And there is a generational shift in TV viewing. Yes, less people are watching TV in the traditional way. That's been no secret. So to cut these channels while so many people are gutted because, it holds a lot of nostalgia for them, it really, from a business standpoint, makes a lot of sense. It claims the end comes as no surprise that the channels have been neglected for some time. Despite the growing importance of online viewing, Channel 4 never integrated the channels into its main streaming service. Additionally, the former Box Plus network mobile app was also discontinued. Yes, I remember the app was going off, but the fact they never put this into the channel4.com, the streaming thing, the fact they never integrated it, seems really bizarre. I'm not saying it would have exactly saved these channels or made them a significant return on investment or anything like that, but surely including them on, your streaming service is a way to sustain them, to get them in front of potential new audiences. But I think it also speaks to the sort of music channel genre as a whole in TV. You got to think back, in the days of MTV during the 1980s, and then here in the 1990s when you had things like the box spring up. Music videos or music-based channels had a lot more importance, a lot more relevance in the days before the internet, or when the internet was very patchy. It wasn't really the place to consume music content. Having TV channels dedicated to it was so key. That's where you could catch the latest music videos, find out the latest music news about your favorite artists, maybe even see clips of them performing live. They were a vital resource. But now, in 2024, with the internet so quick and at our fingertips, if you want to watch a music video, you go onto YouTube, you type in the song and the artist, and there it is. And increasingly, people say music videos have less and less relevance now. I think they still hold a lot of weight because you still see them pop up. You see them a lot on like TikToks and Instagram Reels, but it'll be small snippets enticing you to go and watch the full thing. But of course, when they're redirecting you, they're not saying, oh, catch it on the box at this time, a scheduled time. They're saying you can go watch it on YouTube whenever you like. So I think the whole, even if the channels have been neglected by Channel 4, I think the whole aspect of this corner of TV was dying out. In 2018, 4Music relaunched as a destination for Gen Z viewers, introducing a wider range of entertainment shows. But in 2022, 4Music was downgraded, left Freeview, and lost its entertainment programming. It definitely went on a very weird journey for music. Maybe not necessarily even in the right direction, but it was a very odd journey. Online streams of the channels ended last autumn. Social media feeds linked to the Box Plus networks had gone dormant before then. It's funny nowadays, if you go on social media feeds for certain channels or companies like this, when they go dormant, that's often a sign that things ain't going too well. The channels have continued on Sky, Freesat and Virgin Media, although their inclusion on Freesat wasn't widely publicised by the broadcaster, certainly not on the Box Plus network website. And this is really sad. If it's not going to be promoted even by the ones carrying it, then of course it's destined to fail or to be, in the eye line for being wound down. And the fact that 4Music was taken off Freeview is such a misstep, man, because that's how I watched it. It was accessible on Freeview. It was something we could all tune into. To remove it off arguably the platform that the most people are using, it's well known that well over 15, 16 million homes still use Freeview. To withdraw it off that, of course you're not going to get that potential viewership. You might not have got it anyway, but you're definitely not going to get it now. Kerrang, Kiss and Magic TV channels continued under an agreement with brand owner Bauer Media, which has in the past year removed its own services from the digital TV platforms. Oh dear. And it just gives you a brief history into Channel 4's music channels. We do like our history here. The oldest channel, The Box, started life in 1992 as a regionalised cable TV service, long before Channel 4 became involved. That is key to remember. Channel 4 has not always had control or co-ownership of these things. They were independent. The channel acted as a jukebox containing all the latest hits. Viewers could call to request what they played. And I love this idea. That was such a cool feature. Publishing business EMAP took over shares in Box Television in the late 90s when the arrival of digital satellite TV enabled the channel to reach a wider UK audience. The satellite platform also facilitated the launch of numerous sister channels. These included Kerrang, Kiss and Magic, which were TV spin-offs of existing EMAP-owned brands. The relaunch of digital terrestrial television under the Freeview brand in 2002, following the collapse of ITV Digital, yes, a story we'll get to eventually, facilitated the launch of a further music channel, The Hits. EMAP sold its broadcasting business to Bauer Media in 2007, joining forces with Channel 4 to create a joint venture. In time, the network became collectively known as the Box Plus Network. So Channel 4 has had involvement for quite a long time now, over 15 years. After Channel 4 took a 50% share in Box Television, 4Music was launched in 2008, replacing The Hits. Channel 4 had previously dabbled with the music television concept in the mid-2000s in the form of E4 Music. E4 Music took over E4 every day until about 2 p.m. The format was phased out after the arrival of 4Music. I don't remember E4 Music. I think that must have been a bit after my time, really, when it came to this sort of stuff. But if you remember it, E4 Music, let me know in the comments. In 2019, the Box Plus network was fully taken over by Channel 4, and they've done nothing with it. Over time, the amount of time devoted to music on 4Music declined as entertainment programs took over. This was reversed in 2022 when 4Music lost its Freeview slot to E4 Extra. 4Music was reinvented as a pure music channel but only on satellite and cable. The closure of the Box Plus network is set to leave Freesat without any music channels from July. Yes, E4 Extra. Remember when that launched a few years ago? Little do we remember that was taking over 4Music slot. And E4 Extra, I can't even remember what kind of programming it was showing. Was it time-shifted programming? Was it original programming? I genuinely can't remember. And then to leave Freesat without any music channels at all. I mean, Freesat's already being kicked enough as it is. We did a whole video about how Freesat in the long term might be in some potential danger, so you can go and check that out if you're interested. But to lose music channels as well, that's no good. But, I mean, is it really a big loss? I don't think so, really, because, again, as I said, if people really want to get their, like, music video content, stuff like that, you can just go to YouTube, type it in, and there it is. I know some people say there's a nostalgia, or there's a nice feeling of just switching on the TV and having, like, a set number of hits or certain hits played to you, but I don't know. I think its time has come. In summary, then, is it sad this is happening? Yes. I always say when any TV channel is closing down, it's a sad thing because, it's a piece of TV history, whether it's from long ago or really recent, that's coming to an end. And, that is a shame. But I also think at the same token with these channels particularly, their time well and truly had come. I keep forgetting, even though I've talked about this earlier this year, I keep forgetting that these channels are currently still on the air. Again, the idea of music-based channels, and yes, some of them mixed in entertainment, within that, but I think music-based channels in that original form that they launched in the 80s, the 90s, or 2000s, it isn't sustainable. It's a shame, but it really isn't, and their end comes as no surprise to me, but their place will be remembered, for sure. But I want to know what you think. What do you think about these news that these channels are coming to an end? Are you gutted, or do you think it's the right thing to do? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. It does help us out. And subscribe to the channel as well if you're brand new. We'd love to have you aboard. In the meantime, I've been Martyn from AMTV. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show, and a special thank you to Macra, Ethan Carberry-Holt, Bruce Danton, Globe of Reviews, Derek Chambers, Shaun Knock, Daud Khan, Liam De-Maine, Trev Hughes, Ajmac 200017, Dec KP20, Simon Harrisson, Evan Hart 41, Jen, Ted Elliott, Tim Ripley, Mr. Eurovision 1986, our AMTV staff members.